Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Conqueror's Mentality, a space for women to learn and grow through observation and exploration. You have your hosts, Ave Maria and
Yeah.
Naya. Today, we are just going to check in because why? The holidays are a lot. hmm And it's our time to reflect, decompress, and take a break because hey, it's the holiday season, and why not? So, before we get into all of that, sister, how are we feeling? How are we doing?
I am exhausted, but it's an exhaustion that comes from a place of doing things you enjoy. And so battling that has been a challenge, right? Like getting back into the swing of things. Um, I have been traveling a lot for work, and so navigating that has been very fun.
Yeah,
And on top of doing that, also traveling to be with family. So I enjoy traveling. That's like one of my favorite pastimes is like just spending time with myself, getting to know different cultures and places. So it's not like I'm mad at it, right? I'm
right.
just trying to figure out how to take care of myself in the midst of no routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is an interesting concept because it's easier for me to take care of myself when I'm in the confines of my home, but like even when traveling with family, I didn't do my regular, wake up, have tea. Or I did that, to be fair. I didn't like stretch or work out,
Yeah.
I didn't um read the Bible and do devotions like I did. I just woke up and just I was like, okay, I
Did the
gotta do
thing.
Thanksgiving prep or whatever the case is, right? And so yeah, that's my long-winded answer of realizing things I gotta work on while I'm still enjoying myself and not losing sight of the things that take care of myself.
Yeah. Well, could it could one argue that taking this time and being out of your routine is part of taking care of yourself? Because it's while it's not what you do on the everyday that feeds yourself, but just like you said, traveling does feed you. Being around your family does feed you. So it just might be a different form.
Yes and no. I think I can definitely make that argument, but I think for me, it's a lot easier for me to get back into my routine of things if I never broke it.
I see. I
That
see.
makes
So
sense.
it's more about maintaining your current routine. So being true to yourself throughout those phases.
Exactly. And it's not like I have to go and do hot yoga while I'm traveling. Like, that's not necessarily what I'm saying, but I think it's just doing the little things. Like, why not just take a 5 minute stretch break, right? Like, I can
Yeah.
shorten my routine, or why not, at least read the verse of the day versus reading, 3 chapters a day.
I see what you're saying, trying to find like a way to tweak it so it fits. But yeah, yeah, that can be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you don't know you need it until you start doing it.
Mhm.
And so I just got into a place anyway where I have my routine. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's like I really do have a routine that I love now. Now that I have that, how can I transition that into a space with traveling?
No, I get that. I get that. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've been trying to maintain my like regular routine. And let me tell you, it is hard. Like the stretching, especially if you miss a day, you can feel it. And I feel like either I wasn't stretching before and maybe that's what it is, or it's kind of like my body got used to it. And so when I stopped doing it, it's just kind of like, yeah, girl, you can do the bare minimum, like going down the stairs.
Yeah.
I might pull something. I might pull
Literally.
something.
It's
It's
like
so
it tightens
serious.
when you leave.
It's such a
And
serious experience.
I ain't even that old. Like I thought I was gonna be dealing with that in like my 40s. Like relax. We're not even in the 30s yet.
What I literally so I went to Chicago and I was just walking around, you know, I was with a friend doing the high rocks competition and stuff like that. I wasn't doing it. I was just a participant and the content
Okay.
creator
Okay.
for the weekend.
Okay. That's
But
important.
Okay, thank you. And I took my job very seriously, and I was wearing those Air Force Ones. Bad decision throughout the whole competition, running to get my content for my friend. And yeah, I got tendonitis. I had to call one of our sisters because I didn't know what to do. Well, really,
The
Richard called.
doctor,
And she was like, "I think you got tendonitis from wearing Air Force One."
all, no support, nothing, just straight flat.
Since when has that been a thing? Like, I thought
But
maybe
it's
if I
like
wear
you,
Converse, okay, I understand, but it got a little cushion in it. Like, I didn't know we were
nah,
at that
you need
age.
the, yes. I think
So,
it's, I also think it's because your body is used to like certain impact at a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? And when you
yeah,
do that all day, your body's like, wait a minute. Again, routine. It's like, how do you,
yeah.
right, put in the things that,
So
yeah.
now I have a whole like calf, ankle, tendonitis stretch in my everyday stretches because I can't do that. I barely could walk to the bathroom. Like, I almost woke Richard up, like, "Hey, can you take me to the bathroom fast? I can't
No,
walk."
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I literally could not walk nowhere. And I'm like, "This is actually insane." Like, I feel like I really was in the gym doing something, but I wasn't. I just walked around Chicago.
Well,
But yeah,
sister, how are you?
me, I'm doing okay, you know? I nothing to complain about. My job has been doing really well, and I've been catching on. So, yeah, I ain't got nothing to say. I try to maintain my routines. I really enjoy being in the house. I do have to say something about that. I may have gotten a little bit too complacent with being in the house. So now going outside seems like a chore. Actually, it's always been like that. But still, like,
No, because you used to be outside. You and your mans used to be outside. And I'm like, y'all ain't tired. I'm tired just looking at y'all story. So y'all, I was very surprised to find out how much of a homebody she became.
I'm I'm a real homebody. I think what it is, my mom is a real homebody, and
Okay.
I am like that, but I was trying not to be. But like, God, I like being inside the house. It's so nice. I mean, it is just so nice inside the house, but I have to be like intentional about, hey, I gotta meet with somebody at least once a week, especially
Yeah.
since I don't work outside of my house.
You
I
could be
can
in there for a minute. Yeah.
I haven't
No.
drove my car in probably like 2 weeks.
You know what's interesting is, and I'm curious, and maybe this is a conversation for another day, but the impact that working at home has on like social, like just community, right? Like I think we like aren't supposed to just not be in communion with other people.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I'm so curious to see if like there's a shift in even how you approach community. And like you're saying, it's like I like my home, like I like my solitude, but it's like we
Yeah.
weren't necessarily supposed to always be in solitude as people. So I'm curious what like
No,
that long-term impact has.
no, I get that, and I think about that a lot, but the thing that I think is really helpful during this time is that I'm being very intentional with my sense of community. So who I hang out with is very intentional, where before it was more lackadaisical because it felt like the need, you know? Like, I
Mm,
have to network with this person, so therefore I have to be in community or I have to go to these social activities like happy hours and things
yeah,
like that. Now, not to say they weren't fun. I do enjoy my time there, but it was a need or a purpose, and then that translated into my social life too.
yeah,
So I felt like I needed to go to the activity. Like for example, all our friends we were helping one of our friends move. Normally, I would be like, "Yeah, I'll help move," and then like this weekend, I was like, "Yeah, let's be honest. I don't like moving. I don't like moving myself. So why would I help somebody else move?" And I just was honest. I just was like, "Yeah, to be honest, this is not my vibe." But I will catch you when you have your housewarming party. I will be there if you want. Like, we could talk about design. We can sit in your apartment and talk about design. We can do that. I just, it's not my ministry. It is not my
it's
ministry to
so
move.
funny you say that though, Because me and my guy friend, we were having a conversation last night about balancing the people pleasing, not necessarily people pleasing, but like just being supportive. Where do you draw the line between support and being selfish, right? And like at what point are you no longer a selfless person, and what is that balance, right? Because
Yeah.
like a lot of what I struggle with, and I even saw this in the holidays, like because I've been working so much, like I did not rest when I got back from California. I did not rest. I went to work
Mhm.
and then I went to go and see family. There
Yeah.
was no take a day for you and like pour back into you, right? And not it's
Right.
and so even being around family, it was like I felt the obligation to get up early and like help grandma,
Yeah.
or, get up early and like go and pick up my brother from the airport. So I sacrificed, literally, like, did not, I only slept 3 hours each day that I was there because I was like, I felt the obligation. So at what point do you be selfish and say, no, I need to rest,
Yeah.
especially around family or especially around your friends? Where's that healthy balance?
And I don't actually know the answer to that to me because I probably am the wrong person to ask. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, because I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I'm
Yeah.
very really like engulfed in the experience of like I'm learning not to be a people pleaser, but I'm not at stage 12 of the 12 steps. I'm probably at stage like 4
Okay.
where I'm at the decision period, like where most of the time I'm sitting here thinking like, wait, was I people pleasing when I just said that? Or was
Mm,
that just really how I felt? Am I being true to myself? I don't know. Like it's like the question period. Like I've gotten over the stage where I'm saying no to everything, just like
yeah,
aggressive
yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real.
I've ruled that back and like now I'm trying to identify like, okay, what is the version of Naya? Like what's true to Naya? Things like that. Now, I'm also not the right person because my family lives 4 hours away. And do I miss a lot of holidays? Oh yes. And I do. And it's probably problematic. But like I just don't feel like traveling. And then when I travel, it just feels like everybody is 45 minutes away from each other. Why? Why does everybody not live on the same like plot of land? I just don't understand. It does not make it easy for the people that's coming into town. Okay, I'm one of the
Mm,
only that's flying into town or driving into town. And then on top of that, everybody wants you to pick them up from somewhere. And it's just a lot. It's just so
so,
much. But I do enjoy the time that I'm there. But I do recognize that you get like fatigue. Like I understand. And imagine if you're doing that for every holiday. It's exhausting. So sometimes I just and I say sometimes, but like majority of the time I just pick to stay here. Because I don't want to have the fatigue after the holidays and then go to work with that fatigue. So I know there's a balance somewhere. I just don't know
what
where it
that
is
is.
at. Yeah, and it could be a part of like me trying to be true to myself. Maybe I need to start taking hot days off PTO after the holidays instead of before or like things like that
Mm,
so that I can do a healthy reset, you know. Um but yeah, I don't know what the right thing is. And can somebody who's listening and they have a healthy version and they're like an out of state kid traveling, could they tell us what do you do to reset or beforehand? Or maybe do you cut your trip short? Like just let us
so I
know.
did that. I did that this go round, but I definitely Monday. That was how they were staying, and I said, "No,
Yeah.
that
That's a
I
long
won't do.
time.
I will do Tuesday to Friday." And I did Tuesday to Friday morning, and then people were talking about, "Well, can you change your flight?" and da 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 da. And I was like, "I could, but I won't. I won't. I won't." And
Yeah.
so, like, today is the day to reset. And then I have Sunday, which is Sundays are my favorite days. I just want to say that. Like, Sunday is the best day to exist on the planet, in my personal opinion. And I think it's because there really is an obligation to hang out with anybody.
Yeah.
and it's seen as a day to like reset for a lot
Mhm.
of folks. And so you're very intentional about the time you spend. Like I always keep Sunday sacred. And I wonder if I use my days, like if I treat every day like a Sunday, what my life would be like. Because, and when I say that, it's like I have really only hung out, I think, with one or two people on a Sunday.
Mhm.
And I went to like a show on a Sunday. But
Mhm.
it's just like this is because I really want to. Like, this is something I really want to do. Whereas, like, Saturdays are like, oh, if anybody wants to plan, sure.
Yeah.
Like, I should probably be around community. I should probably be around my friends that I enjoy being around, sure. Right. But like Sunday is like, no, I'm curating this day for rest.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't feel like rest, I'm not doing it.
Mm.
And I think that's like, I'm curious if I can interweave more of that in my daily life
Mm.
outside of Sunday. Because I feel like I shouldn't just wait for Sunday to be so excited to intentionally curate rest. But it's like a whole day dedicated to what pours back into me and what, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I geeked, absolutely geeked. Um, yeah,
No,
all that to
I
say
get
is,
that.
yeah. So I very much took that time to be sacred, and as much as I wanted to be with family, I was like, yeah, no. But I'm trying to navigate when you're with family, how do you still rest, right? How do you not? And I don't think I people pleased as much, did I? I don't think so. Because normally I would have been like, yeah, I'll cook. Girl, ask me what I cooked. Not a thing. I chopped. I did. I did some cutting, but the girl didn't cook.
Proud of you. Proud of you. No, because that's a real thing. No, I started to not stay with family.
Mm,
I started to
really?
do that, yeah. Because I mean, now given the cost, so let's, like, talk about that, like, it costs more, obviously, and, like, that cuts my trip down because I don't wanna spend that much money.
Spend that much money.
But also, it, uh, relieves you a lot because most of the time we're sleeping on couches or something, like, and on top of that, like, you're in somebody else's space, you have to, like, be comfortable in that space, and then, like, yes, it's some one-on-one time that you get, but, like, also, "No, I just need to be at this event and, like, go home." Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to, like,
Yeah.
indulge and do all of the things, and that kind of forces you to be more present in those intentional moments because you only got a selective amount of time.
Exactly. I think, yeah, that's a
And
really
then
good point.
you get your rest periods because, like, if I like, "What time are you gonna be here?" Whenever I show up kind of thing, 'cause, like, I have to
Literally.
travel to there, like, I don't know the distance, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say Imma be here by 2. I might get there at 3, I don't know. But, like, they won't know because you are not staying at the place that I'm staying at. So
Literally.
you can't rush me, all you can do is call me.
That's interesting because I actually, and I know this is different for folks, and I'm curious for folks who like really enjoy the company of, like, love, I love my family as a whole, but I think specifically my father's side of the family, they're just like, I really enjoy them, and it doesn't feel like the need to people please because all the cousins are on the same wave. We have
Yeah,
the same exact energy. And I think because it's almost like carbon copies of each other, the family kind of has just accepted it and not really like put pressure on us to be something or be someone.
yeah,
And so, and you like, you know how my relationship with my father is like, I literally exist, he exists, it's a great time.
yeah,
So I think because of that dynamic, my grandparents and my aunts and uncles also don't have that expectation for me.
yeah,
But I will say I do struggle. with that on my mom's side of the family, so I want to stay elsewhere. Just because they all live, they see each other regularly, so they know each other, and they're expecting me to operate the same way that they do, and I
Yeah.
do not.
No. I see what you're going with this. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so everybody in my family operates differently than me. And it's both sides, so I can see, but I don't think I have a place where everybody acts like me kind of thing.
Mm,
So I don't, you know, and it's not, I'm
that's
not trying to be performative around them, but I think I am trying to fit in. And then
hmm
I think I let that go this year personally. And so because I let that go, I think that just allowed me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be here
okay.
for that specific event. And
And then
yeah, because I mean, it's not it's not comfortable. You know, it's not a comfortable space because a lot of people be like, oh yeah, so and so did this and da 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 da, and then we had this event this week, and then so and so is having this event. Oh, you should come. Yeah, and I'm just like, hey.
yeah.
It just feels like you're constantly trying to catch up. That's what I feel. Constantly trying to catch up.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Cause you're not never close to anybody because everybody has a birthday, everybody's doing the things, and then they're like, oh Naya. Like we have a select amount of stories that we talk about because those are the only stories we're around all at the same
We're
time for.
That's so okay, but like, take for us, your sisters, as an example. We don't share the same stories when we're around each other, right? Like, it's this natural flow and natural progression. Is it because they know who you are? And with your family, they don't necessarily like know you as an adult, or they haven't really seen the depth of your evolution over time. Is that where that like dissonance is? Because like for me, I don't have that struggle with my father's side of the family. Like we don't see each other, but it's similar like to like me and you. Once we are in the room together, it's like we never left, and we're
Yeah.
talking about literally like everything and
Everything.
just enjoying each other.
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, so I'll give you a good example. When we first like became aligned and whatnot, the stories that we said were the same stories over and over and over again
Yeah,
until like we got really to like that year after college, I should say, because that's the last group graduated. The stories
yeah,
kind of changed, but that's because we had to be intentional with our relationships. Like we were not in the same area, so we had to reach out to one another to build those relationships, which created more stories because now people are
yeah.
visiting each other or we're like having conversations or like things like that. I think for me and some of my family members, it's like I'm in that just became a line phase. And we
Yeah.
never got like to a deeper conversation or deeper, relationship.
Mm.
And
So
so, you know
interesting.
what I'm saying? We just kind of stuck there. But it's because it's the same thing with us. Like, if we don't talk for a year or so in that beginning stage, we wouldn't have been the same way we are now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. We still love each other. Still, as soon as we are together, we kiki. But it's just not my comfort zone. It's not like
That's fair.
I and I think it would be different if I had like a family home or something like that where it feels like
Mm.
home. Really like what
Oh, you all don't have that.
nothing of the sort. So like really when I feel like home the most is when I'm with my two parents. And
Okay.
then even then it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's like we're just be like, okay, like I think we're also confused because now I'm an adult, so like our relationship has changed, and we're still trying
Yeah,
to navigate that aspect too. So
yeah.
I'm just in an
Mm,
awkward stage of relationships, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question that's going to shift this a bit, especially as I think about like some of folks in general whom have lost a family member.
Hmm.
And I know like the holiday season is definitely hard because, folks are definitely navigating grief
Yes.
and folks who are no longer with us. How do you navigate that? Does it come up in the holiday season for you? And what does that self-care look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No. So I think back. So I lost my grandma during Christmas time, freshman year of college, and the holidays to me felt kind of empty at that time period. Just because, like, I literally, like, okay, here's the story. I came back from freshman year of college, and literally, I had my bags, came into my room, dropped my bag when I was like, "Your girl has cancer." And I was like, okay.
Mm,
Like, you know how, like, I didn't even get comfortable yet. Like, wait till my first nap first, or, like, give me some time. Then she's like, she's having surgery in 2 days. It was like, boom, boom. I'm like,
jeez.
okay. And
Yeah.
like, and they're like, "Oh, she'll be fine. Like, she didn't want you to worry. Cool, cool, cool." Saying all of that, like, just made me feel like, all right, this is a regular procedure. Like, nobody's worried. I shouldn't be worried either. And then it escalated. And so during the holidays, honestly, like, we didn't, at that point in time, my parents weren't putting up Christmas trees or anything. So, like, really, the holidays didn't feel like the holidays.
The holidays.
Yeah, but the thing that I think we did really well, and I don't know if it's just because, my parents are a little bit older, and so, like, this wasn't my first funeral, if you know. So, but either way, the thing that I think that they did really well is we consistently talked about funny and great experiences we had with my grandma throughout the entire holidays. So if even though it didn't feel like the holidays, it felt like she was there throughout the whole
The
holiday
whole
because all we were talking about was funny stories that we had experiences, the funny times that we've had with them, and it made it a lot easier. And so I think for me now, like whenever I miss my grandparents or like I miss someone, I talk about a funny time and that's my default. And then it probably comes off like I talk about people a lot, but that's
time.
honestly how I cope. And it really does help. And plus like, I don't know, laughing is my coping mechanism. So
It is.
that's what I suggest for people is like talk about the good times because it helps with the grieving period. I don't know what else to say
Mm,
about that, but like it helps release it because when you're stuck inside and like thinking, I miss this person, I'm the only one. Probably other people are dealing with it. They're just dealing with it a different way. So if you talk
different way.
about it, it might help
Yeah.
everybody in the room,
Yeah.
not just you. I feel like holidays are the time period that families come together to heal. And
Mm,
so you're taking that opportunity. That's your focus. That's your self care. That's your being present in the moment. Like those are all of the things that we have been talking about, putting it um
to practice
into
it.
practice.
Yeah. Outside of
And also
your bubble.
it's also being 100% authentic with yourself because that's really what you're going through right now. You're not
Yeah.
trying to put on this persona that everything is fine for the people that you supposedly think that needs to hear that everything is fine.
Yeah.
This is your truth. So if you're missing that person or you're struggling right now or use that group of people that is supposed to be, your safe space. And that could be your friends, that could be your family. But use that opportunity for them to hold on to them.
Mm, yeah. I like that. I have like two people that come to mind. Typically, I don't know, it's weird because actually my aunt only comes like thinking about her and she doesn't necessarily come to mind around the holidays. It's really my birthday.
Yeah.
Because I would always get a birthday gift and she would always call me and she'd be like, "Hey, it's my favorite niece." I don't know if she said that to all her nieces because I'm not her only niece. But like, I don't know, but like just that. So because I never really spent Christmas with that side of the family, or like at least my core memories aren't with that side of the family. It just doesn't necessarily come up during the holidays. But what
Mhm.
does come up is when I lost my cousin. And that was when we were online. And it's interesting because a lot of my favorite Christmas memories are with that side of the family.
Mm.
And so it just felt like home. And it's just like felt like at peace. And one thing I will say, it's interesting because our family is a little complex in the sense that I actually don't know who's blood related and who's not blood related.
Yeah. You don't
And
ask,
be,
or you just was like, okay, well, it's been a little
you're
bit
my
too
cousin.
long to not
You're my
know.
cousin. That's how I see it. Right? Like some folks are definitely like my dad's best friends, they grew up when they were like basically babies. And so as like their kids, who I'm called my cousins, we grew up when we were babies. So
Yeah.
we're cousins, right? Like in the same of we've have this journey together or whatever the case is. And so it's almost like the chosen family that is literally like became blood
Mhm.
and actively being around them. And so during the holidays, specifically with that side of the family where my cousin had passed, I think one thing that I just really sit with is that my best memories were this moment. So let me cherish it and let me continue to honor that after his passing,
Yeah.
right? Of just like, we're going to eat. Like, I'm really excited for this holiday or this Christmas, is because I'm going to be with my other cousin, whom it was like the three of us, and we had that really deep
Mm.
relationship. So we can talk about, how his dog was obsessed with me, right? And like after his passing, like I didn't get the dog, one, because I was in college. So like the family took the dog or
Yeah.
whatever. But we still talk about the memories of like, my cousin like laughing at the fact that his dog loved me.
And
I would
more.
say more, but I'm not gonna say that. But and so it's nice to be able to recollect the memory and sit in the happiness that
Mhm.
we once had. And so like part of me grieving him is honoring him in in valuing and ensuring that like that's this specific Christmas is gonna bring just as much joy.
I see.
And so, yeah, I think that's how I've learned to navigate that, is like, what can I do to honor the person that I lost, or as a family that we lost. And I think sometimes we take that for granted, and we don't, like, we get caught up in the grief and the feeling and the emotions, and it's important to acknowledge that. And it's, how do you tap into it to now honor the person so it still feels like they're with us,
Yeah.
right? Like ensuring that their presence is still there and that we don't sit in sorrow, or we don't sit in grief.
Yeah.
So
I don't
yeah.
I think that definitely is the way to look at it, because it's like the movie Soul Food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the coming together on Sundays was the grandmother's thing. And so they honored her by still carrying on that tradition after she had passed. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're just implementing that
Exactly.
mentality. Um And I think so too. Like, I was thinking about it this year. I was like, wow, I could really make Thanksgiving dinner. Did I know? But could I? Yes. Because why? My grandma taught me all her recipes. Could I do it? I could. But that's not authentic to me. So therefore, I'm gonna just remember that I know those recipes, and I'm gonna take that as myself.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely.
But we did eat a lot of good food, and
You're funny for that though.
I did remember that this does not taste the same. So I feel like I was with you. No, it's still good. It's still
You're
good. But
hilarious. Like, their food does not taste like yours, Grandma, and I remember that. You're funny.
Okay, they did not. They missing this piece. They missing this piece, but it's okay. I
Yeah.
do think it's funny. Okay, so change the topic one more time because because we've talked about how to navigate, your family for out town individuals through law, but how do you navigate the holidays when I don't want to say like visiting, but like you are an outsider joining into a different individual's holiday. So it's not your family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
there's a special way of handling that situation because you would like to be present in that moment because you are a visiting individual, but they are also opening the
Yeah.
door for you to feel welcome into their space. But also, the holidays are for family, so you have like a little bit of sadness or grief of not being with your own. So, how do you or how would you navigate that?
So what's coming to mind is when I went to Pittsburgh with my ex's family
Mhm.
and how I navigated that. For I find peace in seeing other people's families dynamic. And this may sound like
Mm.
a little judgmental or crazy or whatever the case is, but it's more so of like, okay, they're just as problematic as my family. So I kind of feel at home. Or like
Sweet.
they're like just as intentional, or like they literally have the beauty and the flaws, right? As any family does. And so how can I embrace that, and how can I like lean into that to now
Mhm.
be more welcoming into who I am? Like taking elements of the family, like I sit back and I observe and then I engage. And so it's like taking elements and understanding, or getting a better picture, I would say, of like the family dynamic, and like just sitting in that and kind of
Yeah.
just being like a observer of how other families like love and how they interact and how they bicker, and whatever the case is, and find peace in the fact that like they're just like any other family. And so how can I then like be and exist? It opens the door for me to be just as natural as I am with my family, if that makes sense. So I look at elements of other people's families, problems and good, as an invitation to exist. I don't know if that made sense.
No, I definitely get what you're saying. I never looked at it from that perspective. I never thought about it. Like when you said that, I was like, huh, is that where I thought you were going with this? Because I do the same thing in the sense of like I do look at people's families, but I never see the bad stuff. I always see the good stuff. I always be like, wow, they're so nice. Like look how their relationship is. Like oh my gosh, they're so friendly or how close they are. I think that's just I don't know wishful thinking because I don't know. I just always wanted like this is terrible. But the Cosbys, but before Bill Cosby was problematic. So like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have
Yeah.
my wife and kids. That's a better one. Let's do that one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Where like it was like the siblings and the parents and like the cutesy
Yeah.
sitcom and the relationships and the deep conversation, but the respect was still there. Like it's just kind of I look at everybody and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so nice."
I think it's because we're both comparing, but I feel like there's a, not necessarily like comparing for a point of envy, but comparing because I want to, like, how do I find my family in them?
Yes.
And that's what I do. And so for me, it's like I can find elements of my family and other people's family and lean into those qualities, right? And like I like saying, like I love how problem, and I say problematic, not like in the like they're a toxic sense, but like we say some crazy stuff at family, like, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, yo, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what is actively wrong with y'all? Right. And so I think I like look for elements like that of like, okay, we're this family is just as crazy or we're just as human or and so like leaning into that, like that helps me now feel that I'm at home. Like I look for elements of my father in other people so that I can lean into that. Or I look at elements of my brother in other people so that when they're not there, I still can kind of find my way and feel at home.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that. Like, but I don't think about, like, I recognize that I'm in a different place. So I just look at them as their own individual and analyze them as their own individual. And then kind of try to navigate like our relationship, like what does our relationship look like? And that's just it.
Mm,
Like I'm really like engulfing into a whole different experience. Like I'm like if I was like coming in like okay, well, and the entire time I'm there, I'm like, oh, okay, is this like a friendship kind of relationship? Is this a family kind of relationship? Like,
mm.
am I an associate? And then by the time like I leave, I already made my assumptions, and then like I just kind of go about my business. I'm a very like
Yeah, no. No, you're very
about
like
it.
business oriented.
Yeah, that's how like it just flows in my head.
Interesting.
But that's how it always is. Why do I think like for like everybody that I meet or friends with, why you I remember exactly what you wore on the first time I saw y'all. I already made my decision.
No, see, I don't it's that Maya Angelou quote for me. It's like I remember how I feel, right? And like if I don't feel at home or if I can't even find elements of home here, then I'm not going to come back. And I'm going to like make that for
A
me that's
thing.
important, especially for the holidays. Yeah.
But my thing is everybody's gonna be different. No one's gonna feel like my home. Like, my home is really, really clean. Like it is doctor's office clean. And I'm over here like, I'm not gonna find it. Or like, it's just my parents is just there, by the book kind of people. I'm not gonna like everybody else I feel like is so like more relaxed and chill than my family is. Like we be having debates
Mhm.
at Thanksgiving. No one else does
We
that.
did that. We do that.
You know?
We do that.
And
We
it
do.
be
We had a
real good.
debate. It's no, literally. And it's so funny because we literally had a debate till 4 a.m. to the point where like they were like, "Ain't no way y'all still arguing." Like,
No,
absolutely,
because at 4 a.m. is
absolutely.
crazy.
But I
Was
that's
there
so
liquor
interesting though.
in there? I think until 4 a.m. was
Oh,
y'all like
absolutely,
so.
absolutely.
See, my family doesn't drink. So, like, this is sober conversation. And, like, it'd be
Oh,
biblical
okay.
ones too. Like, it'd be like the difference between the world and the Bible or what this, and like, now those are fun. An hour or two, an hour or two in, and you'd be like, okay, it's time to wrap this thing up. And then normally we always do. We agree to disagree. Like that's always how it is. Like we agree to disagree
Mm.
because nobody's like seen the other side. It is always the new generation versus the old generation.
So I guess, and this kind of like leads into one of the questions that we had asked, and I don't know if this is the closing question, but in moments like that, how do you find appreciation and remain present? Right. And I ask that because I think that kind of goes back into answering what do you do when you're not with other people's families?
Hmm.
Or I'm sorry, when you're not with your family, like when you're with other people's family, is like, how do you remain present and appreciate the moment regardless of how it kind of transpires, right? Because I think there comes a point in time in which like, you probably when somebody passes, it's like, dang, I kind of wish I could argue with you one last time. Or I kind of wish I could
Yeah.
just,
Have it
I don't know
back
if that
a
makes
little
sense, but
banter,
like,
yeah. Yeah. No.
yeah. And so it's like, even for the moments in which they weren't always the best moments, how do you still remain present and like appreciate it while still keeping safe? I don't know if that
No,
made sense as a question.
yeah, I ain't got an answer for that one either. Like, I feel like I'm
Okay.
still navigating this.
Okay.
I mean, truthfully, because being present when you're not around your family, because I see what you're saying, and I feel like I worry about that often. Because I do choose one thing over another because I can't go to everything. Like, I don't have that privilege of like driving down the street and can go to my husband's family and then can go to mine. Like, that's just not a thing. I have to choose one or the other. But I do worry that like I'm missing out on a lot of these moments, and then when it is their time, like I'm be like, oh, I wish I would have done all of these things. I do recognize that, but also I do recognize that I can't. I used to think in my head that I had to run myself ragged to make all of these moments, but also there's a beauty in intentional moments. Is the beauty in like not being at everything, because when I do come to something, it's like, oh my gosh, like I am here. I'm like locked in. Like I'm having these really good conversations with you. I'm not just, telling you about all of my life challenges. Like the conversations that I'm having, I only have a certain amount of minutes to have these conversations. So like it has to be very thought provoking, very intentional. I have to know what's going on, what's catching up. And then I think the things that I do here um are very relative to what I'm going through at that time or whatever they're going through at that time. So like I can be there for them in those moments. I don't have an answer. Like, I'm still figuring it out
Okay.
too.
That's okay.
But I think it's all
And I'm
about
curious.
yourself, because it's gonna be a
Yeah.
different answer for everybody. Before we get to the closing question, let's ask the questions of the challenges for the week. So the first question was the reflection question. What is an area that you have been neglecting this year that you would like to not neglect before the end of the year or work on not neglecting?
I think what I've recently started neglecting is my diet and my physical health.
Okay.
And so, what I plan on doing for the month of December and also into January is focusing on my physical health. And so, specifically, my diet. Like, I want to cut out red meat. I want to eat more salads and greens. And I think it's because I haven't been cooking
Yeah.
and I'm always eating out. So, how can I intentionally craft the meals that I am eating out? Because, I mean, that's just the way my job's set up. So I'm
Yeah.
always gonna have to eat out. Yeah. So how can I like pick meals or pick places that are healthy and not just because it's like, oh, it tastes good? How can
Yeah.
I be intentional? Like just because I have the choice doesn't mean I need to make those choices. Um,
I get that. I get that.
that's my answer.
Especially you can have those to go like easy plate pre-made health meals. That's always an option too. Yeah. But they don't
Yeah.
taste as good. Yeah, so it's somewhere in the middle between those
Yeah.
two. um, okay, so for
I'll have to get
me,
that.
I I feel like I've been neglecting my relationships in the month. Like I feel like I haven't been really present. So I've been really trying to tap into that. I've been starting before this question happened, so it's been an ongoing thing. But I feel like I've been really trying to tap back into those relationships and like be more present and like build what I would like the relationships to be, and instead of what I thought the capacity of the relationship had or the capacity that it had, redefining those in my head. So that's all of the things that I have been neglecting. And just being present in general. So
Mm,
we're trying, especially with the
yeah.
holidays and things, you know,
I was about to
i.e.,
say, I think the holiday is an interesting time to do that.
yeah, yeah. Um, it is, because you don't want to extend yourself. Like we voted on not doing anything for the holidays, but we were very present at the activities that we did go to. So like it's a give or take. And then you have the guilt of not doing things, so you have to sit with that, and it's a lot. Okay, it's just a lot. But the challenge for this week was to do one activity that brings you peace before and after the holidays. So, were you able to do something to bring you peace or to ground you before that
So
and
I
after the holidays?
this is about to sound and this is gonna sound strange, but like homework really grounded
Okay.
me. And this sounds crazy, but I think it's more so of I'm like in the place where I'm finally finding topics or things that I really enjoy that it feels like it pours back into me.
Hmm.
And so like I'm working on my uh, capstone and I actually really like my topic. I before the holidays, right before leaving Thanksgiving, and even almost like as I got like it was like the first few hours of while I was there, I like read an article and I got all my color coordinated pencils and all of that, or pens and highlighters, and I just marked it up and I was like, wow, this is what it's to like what you do. And so I did that. And it poured back into me, not only because I didn't feel pressured and concerned to like hurry up and come back and get work done when I
Hmm.
got back, but I also, it was just like almost like a confirmation of I'm exactly where I need to be. So enjoy this present moment.
Yeah.
And it was just like a really great aha moment for me.
Hmm.
And so what I'm planning on doing today is like leaning into that. I'm going to do some yoga, but I think because I've gotten to that aha moment, I've been neglecting this personal statement. It's due December 4th. And so I think because I've reached that aha moment and like I just did something that I enjoyed, I think I have the ability now to go ahead and write it.
Yeah.
Um so it's like a weird, like I wasn't expecting it to feel as nourishing as it actually was for me. But it was nice to be able to do it.
Okay. Basically, what I hear you saying is it's refreshing when you step into your purpose, and it created a feeling of you're right where you're supposed to be. And so it created a sense of peace because you were able to step into that. Now, does that mean that you're going to be perfect at every stage? No, but it does give you a reassurance of some sort during that time period.
Exactly. Beautifully said.
That's good. No, I get what you're saying, and I think that would be exciting. You started it off a little rough though. I ain't gonna hold you. Start off with saying that your education was what brought you peace. It's the activity that brought you peace. Ah. But I got
But
the
you also know
learning
that's
though.
like,
I got it. I was here. I was here for it.
okay. Okay, I'm glad you like tracked because I know people are like, here she go with her. Like, it's so funny because I like posted a picture on Instagram and one of my friends commented, like, don't let her fool y'all. She's pretending like she's vacationing, but she's on her nerdy shit. And like literally, like my nerdy like life,
Brain, yeah,
right? Like literally does bring life back into me. And it sounds so strange because
yeah,
it's like sometimes the things that you pour into you can also simultaneously cause you stress,
yeah,
and I think it's partly because of how you orient yourself in it. And I was coming into a place where I wasn't orienting of an obligation, but it was more so because I want to, and I like it's like a place of exploration. So
yeah.
I get it. I get it. It's weird. I'm weird. I'll take it.
No, it makes sense, and I think it's good that you're saying that because people would not attribute like learning to being a moment of peace, but some people do. So the fact that you're saying that is reassuring some people.
Okay, what about you?
I rested a lot. I slept a lot. Like I was just honest about when I'm tired and when I'm not tired. I've been stretching. I've been going to the gym. The gym probably has been one of the things that I think has been really good for me in the sense of like trying hard things, getting out of my head about like a really hard workout and just being present in the moment. So like when I go to the gym, I like to listen to either the Bible or another podcast because you feed your mind as you're feeding your body. It's just kind of a whole thing. So it's just like once I leave the gym, I feel like I've accomplished something. So it like allowed me to go into the holidays like, okay, well, at least I'm fit and everything that I eat today does not count against my calories. Not to say I count calories because I don't. I'm actually terrible with those things. I had a good time because I was just present and I was just like, okay. And then also it allowed me to have an excuse because I was tired and I was exhausted from the workout. So I can go home at a reasonable hour. Saying all that to say, that is what helped me ground myself this holiday. And it was fun. It really was. Had a great
Yeah,
time. But I still have to do a workout today, so that's just we're gonna go back at it. We're gonna go back at
literally. I will at least, what I will at least say though, and I think sometimes it's important as, just people to say these things to the folks you love, especially around the holidays though. It's nice to see that you're taking care of yourself in this time, right? And I think it's nice to see that we're having this conversation of reflection to do those things. And so I'm really hopeful around this like next corner and this next bend and these next seasons of life to see how that like manifests because I this time can be hard for
it. Yeah.
people.
Okay. So the reflection question for this week is how do you be present with people in your community or your family or any relationship that you have while being true to yourself and true to what your needs are? I understand that there's so many times where you have to be there or for other people, but how do you do it in such a way that it doesn't affect who you are?
I like that. I like that a lot.
We thank you again for coming and listening with us for another week of Conquer's Mentality. Hope you guys have a good December and only 25 days till Christmas.